Now live. Woo! Hey Instagram. These are my backup yogis. We decided to get out of the mayhem for a second and take a little sacred pause. So we're going to bring you some introduction to meditation and yoga. So say hi everybody. Hey. This is so cool and weird. Okay, great. Take your hands in prayer. Sit up tall. Close your eyes and let's take a little sacred pause. Mentally, physically, all the things. Take a slow drink. Take a breath in through your nose. And then a soft breath out of your mouth. And then with your eyes closed, just notice your surroundings. Take another big breath in. As you exhale, just empty any words out of your mind's eye. Come into your five senses as you breathe in, even slower, even deeper. And then exhale the circular thought patterns that may be coursing around in your brain. Start to tap into how you're connecting with the ground, the weight of gravity, the weight of your body. Take another big breath in, and then feel the opposite. Feel it pulling away from the ground as you breathe in. As you exhale, melt your shoulders down your back. Allow in just a little bit of space mentally and physically for the next 3 breaths, as slow as you can. Know that this practice is really just an act of love. It's showing yourself the same kind of love you would show somebody else. It's spending time. It's getting quiet. It's just allowing. So see if you can be gentle with yourself as we move through different shapes. Don't judge yourself. Just feel what it is to have a body and maybe derive a little bit of pleasure out of the whole thing. Take one more big breath in. Make an audible sigh out of your mouth. And reach your arms up high. And then you're going to take your hands down to the ground behind you. Your feet to the floor in front of you. Lift your hips, lift your heart. Find a big breath in. Audible exhale, sit down. You guys can turn to the left. Everybody else, continue what you're doing. Lay down on your backs. And then hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little bit of a squeeze. And then just notice the energetic difference of having your back on the ground compared to having it up, sitting upright. Feel the relaxation that comes with just allowing yourself to lay down. And then hug the right knee close into the chest. Let the left leg go out long. Flex both of your feet, and then point both of your feet so the toes point forward. See if you can really work the bottom of your foot, so much so it's like almost a cramp. And then take a big breath in, peel the toes backwards towards your face again. Point both toes forward. Maybe the knee comes a little closer to your chest. One more time. Flex the feet. Make a lot of space between all of the toes. Heels forward. And then exhale, point both sets of toes forward again, working the bottom of the foot. Slowly, you're going to drop your right knee over towards the left. And then cactus your right arm. Make a big kind of T shape with your body. And then just breathe into your right waist, the right side of your belly. Allow yourself to fold into whatever shape feels comfortable. Don't lean into pain, but allow yourself to feel into sensation, like turning on through your body. Reach your right butt a little bit further towards your left foot, and then breathe into the side again. And then just relax all of your muscles. Stop trying. Good. And then slowly you're going to roll back onto your back. You'll flex your right foot, and then you'll hook your left knee behind your right ankle. And then you're going to thread your arms through this little triangle you're making with your legs. Grab your left shin, and then just hug your legs in close towards yourself. Notice your breath. Can it get just a little bit slower, but a little bit wider, a little softer, but really comprehensive and active in the way you're paying attention to the softness? And one more big breath here, sending your right knee away from your face, left knee towards your face. And then you'll release your left shin, send both legs up towards the sky, cactus your arms on the ground. Just take a big breath in, pull your toes towards your face, heels towards the sky. And then exhale, point both feet, activate the bottom of them. Good, flex both feet again, find a big inhale. And then lower your right leg a centimeter from the earth as you exhale. Stay here for one full round of breath. Take a big inhale. Exhale, drives your belly button down into the floor. One more, reach your ankles away from your hips. See if they can get a little longer, the legs. And then as you exhale, drive the belly button down, switch your legs. Same idea here, heels away from you, toes towards you. Belly button and low back firm into the spine as you exhale. Take one more big breath in, breathe into your belly, your back, your right waist, your left waist. Get really wide through the tubular core. And then exhale, switch your legs. Inhale, stay. Reach the ankles away from the hips, get long through the legs. Exhale, drive the belly down, switch the legs. Good, inhale, stay, open the toes. Exhale, switch your legs. Good, couple more rounds of this. You're breathing in, staying. Exhale, you're switching and you're watching your thoughts as your abs begin to burn more. Clocking your relationship with the heat that comes up as you move. Exhale moves you. Remembering that this is what you're asking for when you come to any kind of yoga practice or any movement practice. Exhale, switch your legs. So don't shy away from it. See if you can kind of cultivate a hunger for it. One more big breath. Switch as you exhale. Put your right foot down, hug your left knee in towards your chest, give yourself a squeeze. Take another big breath in here. And then soften. Shoulders melt into the earth, butt melts down towards the earth, left knee melts towards your chest. Take another big breath in, flex the feet. Exhale, point them. Get really active through the bottom of both feet. Two more like that. Flex the feet backwards. Send the heels forward so much you feel your glutes turn on. And then exhale, point the feet. Feel the very tops of your thighs turn on, where your thighs become your belly. Last one, big inhale. As you exhale, you're going to drag your left knee across your body to the right. Good. And then just lay on the floor. Find your left butt. Move it towards your right heel. And then breathe into the space between your left ribs and your left hip. Big breath into the side. And then a deep melting as you exhale. Get active as you inhale. Reach the butt away. Turn on through the belly a little bit like you're doing a mini crunch. And then soften into the earth. You're going to slowly start to roll to your left. Hook your right knee underneath your left ankle. And then thread your arms through. Figure four shape. Flex both feet. And then just settle into the earth again. Send your left butt forward. Your right knee towards your face. Your left knee away from your face. And one more big breath. And keep returning your thought processes to the act of your breath and your movement. That's all that needs to occupy the headspace right now. Left leg goes up high. Right leg goes up high. Hug both knees into your chest tight. Pick up your skull off the ground. Pick up your shoulders off the ground. Drive the belly button into the floor and then see if you can meet your knees and your eye sockets. If you can't, Don't judge yourself. Just go for it. One more big breath here. Imagining peace in the body and in the mind, even when things are tumultuous. And then start to rock forward and backwards if that agrees with your back. If not, just sit up. And then you're going to cross over your legs. Come onto all fours. You can always whip your legs around. And then once you get to all fours, see if you can find wide hands. So open your fingers pretty wide. And then just explore what it is to press into the different parts of the hands. So press into all of the fingertips where your fingernails are really, really hard, like you want to break the ground. And then press into that first knuckle that's closest to the fingernail. Get really deep on all 10 of those. And then the middle knuckle, press into all of those. Feel what happens in the arms and the chest and the back once you really get vigorous about it. And then the knuckle is at the base of the palm. See if you can press into all 10 of those. Feel how your chest turns on a little bit more. Then press into the heel of the hand, the back of the palm right here. Now see if you can turn on all of those things at once. Bend your elbows backwards a little bit towards your thighs, and then move your heart up and forward, opening the collarbones and letting the lungs open. As you exhale, tuck your tail and then round your back body up towards the sky, chin in towards chest. Keep your breath just as long and soft as it was before. Do it again. Bend the elbows, press into all the knuckles, all the details of the hands, arch your back. And then exhale, you're tucking the tail and rounding out, bringing the chin into the chest. Find 3 more of these at your own pace, but let your breath be long. Maybe even close your eyes so you can imagine what your body looks like as you start to activate and electrify it in different places. Last one, everyone close their eyes, and then try and activate the place that you don't feel, or feel the most numb. Activate there. Good, and then you'll come down to your forearms. Right forearm and then left. And then just turn your palms up towards the ceiling. And then find another round of cat-cow here. So you're going to drop your belly, look forward. Exhale, ground all of the fingernails. Ground the backs of the hands the same way you did the front. 2 more. Big inhale. Exhale, rounds you out. Last one. Big inhale. And then round out as you exhale. Okay. As you come forward, you'll flip your palms. Walk back up towards your hands. You're going to tuck your toes and then just sink your butt back towards your heels as far as you can. Your knees are on the earth for now. And then walk your hands forward and just release your forehead down towards the earth. See if you can think about the outsides of your armpits, like the very far edges of your chest, and then wrap those in towards the center line of your chest so there's a strength in the upper body. Then find your belly button, drive it in towards the spine like you did before when it was on the floor. Then start to press into your toes, all 10 of them, same way you were pressing into your hands before. Then maybe if you're feeling strong enough, you'll press into the hands and the feet and lift the knees a centimeter off the ground, just a little tiny bit. Then you'll hug the knees and the outer ankles in towards center. Find one more big breath here. Next inhale, you'll straighten your legs into a downward facing dog. And then slowly start to walk your feet towards your hands. If you can walk heel, ball, toe, do that. If you can't, act like you can and see what that feels like to come forward. Once you get to the top of the mat, you can tense your fingers, bend your elbows backwards, and then pour your head out. Bring your chin into your chest, and let your head just dangle off physically, mentally. No more thoughts, just being in this body of yours. You can bend your knees a lot. Take your hands to your shins and then press into them. Move your heart forward. Exhale, you'll fold back down. Crawl your hands up to your thighs. Halfway lift again. Big inhale. Tails back, hearts forward. Fold back down. Walk your hands up to your hip creases so the thumbs go into the folds. Halfway lift, big inhale. Fold back down as you exhale. Keep walking your hands up till you stand all the way up. Reach your arms to the sky. And then take your hands in prayer at your heart. Close your eyes. Release your hands by your sides. Practice silence for 3 breaths. Notice what comes in and how you can redirect towards silence. Lift your toes, sweep your arms up high towards the sky. You're going to grab your right wrist and then side bend over towards the left. Dig your right foot into the earth pretty hard. Let your right hip fall over to the right a little more. And then turn your heart up into the right. Find one more big breath here. Then come back to center. Switch, grab your left wrist and then side bend over towards the right. You can stamp your left foot down, press your left hip out, and then turn your left chest muscle up into the left. Soften your shoulders away from your ears. Find one more big breath here, feeling sensation and depth in the breath all the way into the left side waist. And then you'll come back up towards center. Take your hands to your low back, fingers point down. Hug your elbows in, and press your hips forward. Lift up and over as you lift your heart to the sky, your tail down to the ground. And then imagine the space between your tail and your chest plate. Fill it up, front, back, and side. Big inhales. Exhale squeezes the spine. 2 more, big inhale. Tail stakes down into the ground. 1 more big breath. Breathe for your life. Exhale, come back to a neutral spine. Release your hands. Stay still for 1 breath. See if you can observe all those shapes and colors behind your mind's eye. And then as you exhale, just bend your knees and fold. Plant your hands on the ground. Step your right leg back to a lunge. And then step your left foot back to a plank pose. Find your breath here, and then step your feet about 2 fists distance apart. And then you're going to slowly drop your heels over towards the left. Sweep your right arm back, and then reach your right arm up high. Take your right hand down, come back to the tiptoes. Send the heels to the right, and then sweep the left arm back, squeezing the right butt up into the left. And then take the left hand down, come back to your plank pose. Now you're going to bend your knees and send your butt back towards your heels. You're in that little crouch pose we were in before. As you come forward, you'll inhale. And then lower down to your knees. Stick out your butt, pull in your gut, and then bend your elbows backwards, lower to your chest, then your chin. And then slide up and forward to a cobra pose. Find a big inhale. Reaching the tail and the toes backwards. Lower down to your forehead as you exhale. And then lift up again. Maybe this time you do it without hands. And then you'll fold back down. 1 more time, you'll lift up without hands. And then you'll slide your hands forward, come down to your forearms, tuck your tail, lift your hips. Or tuck your toes and lift your hips for a forearm plank. Good, now same thing we did before. Drop your heels over to the left. This time, leave both forearms on the ground. Come back up towards center. Heels to the right. Back up towards center. To the left, center, to the right. Try not to move your upper body. Center. Last round, to the left, center, to the right, center. Lower down to your knees. Walk your hands backwards. Child's pose. Take a big breath here. Notice yourself again. Maybe you ask yourself, how are you? It doesn't have to be good. But you can be with yourself however you happen to be in this moment. Like a little act of love. Last big breath. Come forward to all fours. Tuck your toes. Send your hips up high for a downward facing dog. Make sure your feet are 2 fist distance apart, the way we dropped the heels before. And then you'll inhale, come forward to a plank pose. Exhale, you're going to bend your knees, sink your butt back to your heels, find that little crouch pose. Inhale, come forward again. You're going to drop both heels to the left. Sweep your right arm back, and then up, and then back down to the ground. And then you'll come back to your tiptoes, sink your butt towards your heels, little crouch pose. You could put your knees on the ground or not. Then you'll come forward as you inhale, drop your heels to the right, sweep your left arm back, and then up, and then forward, getting long from foot to hand, and then sink back to your crouch. Do that 2 more times each side. Come forward, heels to the left, right arm back, get really long, get really breathful. Send it backwards as you exhale. Breathe into the front, back, and side. Heels to the right, left arm back. Sink back in, get really small. Inhale forward, heels to the right, get really wide, take up space. And then sink back, get really small. Last one, big inhale. Exhale, sinks you back. Drop your knees, walk your hands back, lower your forehead. Take a sacred pause. Come forward to all fours. Tuck your toes. Lift your hips. Downward facing dog. You're going to pick up your right foot, send it to the sky, open the toes. And then bring your right knee towards your right elbow. And then see if you can slowly step your right foot outside of your right hand. And then drop your left knee. Now you got an option. You can stay in your hands or you can come down to your forearms. And then from here, I want you to close your eyes and then find your pubic bone. And then find your tailbone. Those are north and south. Find your right hip, that's east. Find your left hip, that's west. Now find the center of that compass and then start to draw big circles moving from that center of the compass. So you're just circling around your core or your pelvic floor or your Kundalini Shakti, whatever you want to call it. You're just getting in touch with the center of yourself. You're getting centered. Circle the other way. See if you can look forward towards where you're going. Not down. Don't be downtrodden. Let's look forward. And then from here, you're going to come back up to your hands. You're going to reach your right arm up high towards the sky. Notice if your left hip is dropping down towards the ground, pick it up so it's even with your right hip. And then turn your belly even more than your hips. And then reach your right arm back behind you. Maybe bend your left knee and just reach for the foot. If you can grab it, grab it. Hang out here for a couple more breaths. Think about breathing into where the left thigh becomes the left low belly. One more big breath here. Release your back foot if you have it. Take your right hand down. And then press into your hands. Start to straighten your right leg as you move your butt backwards. Yeah. Halfway lift. Pick up your heart. Move your tail back. Fold back down. Crawl forward. Tuck your left toes. Pick up your left knee. And then if you can, press into your hands and your right foot. Step your left foot up to a squat. Take your hands in prayer. Close your eyes. Find 3 breaths here. And then find the center of that compass again. Pubis is north, tail is south, right hip is east, left hip is west. The center of the compass is your pelvic floor. See if you can lift that muscular area up towards your skull. A meeting of the earth and the esoteric, so to speak. One more big breath. Press into your feet. Reach up, straighten your legs. Parallel your feet, and then fold. Interlace your hands behind your back. Send your fists forward. Move more weight to the front of your feet. And then let your head fall off again. Press your palms together and move them forward a little bit more. Breathe into the front slits of the armpits. And then ground into the feet the same way you grounded into your hands at the very beginning when you did all the details of them, yeah? Feel how that electrifies the top of your legs, and then breathe into that electricity. Next exhale, release your hands. Step your left leg back to a lunge. Find a downward facing dog as you exhale. Come forward to a plank pose, big inhale. Crouch pose as you exhale, bend your knees, sink your butt. Drop your heels to the left as you come forward. Sweep your right arm back. Sink back to your crouch. Good, come forward, heels to the right, left arm back. Sink back in as you exhale. Come forward to a plank pose. You can put your knees down or not. You'll lower halfway and then stay there for 3 breaths. Belly button drives up towards the sky. Feet dig into the earth like you wanted to break it. Fingertips turn on like those details we had at the beginning. Cobra or up dog on your inhale. If you want up dog, you'll point your toes, straighten your arms, lift your heart. Downward facing dog as you exhale. Lift your left leg right away. Bring your left knee towards your left elbow. Slowly step your left foot outside your left hand. Drop your right knee. You can stay on the hands, or you can come down to your forearms. Good, now let's take it a step further this time. Close your eyes, settle in, and then find that compass. Find the center of it. And then can you lift that musculature and then imagine the waves of your spine? So can you feel your low back kind of arcing down towards the ground, and then your mid back up towards the ceiling, and then up in the thoracic spine down towards the ground again, and then the back ridge of your skull up towards the ceiling again. Find your breath, ride the wave, and then start to circle to the right. What does that spine look like as you're circling? Can you get a little longer? Circle the other way. And then come back up to your hands. Plant your right hand. Make sure your right hip is even with your left. It's not dropping down to the floor. It's even. And then you'll pick up your left arm. Now turn your belly button to the ceiling, but don't let your right thigh drop any lower. Yeah, nice guys. Hey, good to see you. Okay, and then you'll bend your right knee if you want to. Reach back with your left hand. Maybe you grab the foot. Maybe you just reach for it. Keep breathing into where your right thigh becomes your right belly. Two more big breaths. Remembering that the intensity of this shape, like everything else, super temporary. So just live with it for a sec. Like COVID, hopefully. Okay, from here you're going to release your back foot. Tuck your toes. Pick up your right knee. Just kidding, half split. Move backwards. Straighten your left leg. Fold. And then halfway lift, heart forward, tail back. Fold back down as you exhale. Alright, now you'll crawl forward. Tuck your right toes, pick up your right knee. Ground into your hands and your left foot. Step up to your squat. You know, a little bit more this time. Come up to your tiptoes and press into the big and small toe mounds equally. Maybe you move your ribs and your skull backwards so they stack right over your hip. Maybe you find your pelvic floor again, or the center of the compass, and then imagine the waves of your spine. Your low back arcing towards the front of your mat. Mid back towards the back of the mat. The nape of the neck towards the front of the mat. And then the back of the skull towards the back of the mat. Embody that wave. Find one more big breath. Keep your heels up or down. Stand up. Reach your arms high. And then slowly lower the heels. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Find a big inhale. Flutter your lips as you fold back down. Step your left leg back. And then your right foot back. Down dog. Come forward to a plank pose. Lower down to your knees. Sink your butt down towards your heels. Find a child's pose. Take a big breath in here. Release all the words. Just come into feeling. One more. Slowly come up to kneeling. And then take your hands to your low back like you did before. Hug your elbows in. Broaden the collarbones. Send the tail down. And then before you lean back into your camel shape, think about some diagonals. So think about your pubic bone going up and forward on a diagonal. Your chest plate going up and forward. Your third eye going up and forward. And then find the opposite for the back body. The back lobe of the skull backing down. The shoulder blades backing down. The tail backing down. Find both of those actions at once, up and forward and back and down. And then start to lift your heart higher towards the sky as you lean back. But let it be in the upper body, more so than the lower half of the trunk. Now find your breath again. Get really powerful about it, but peaceful internally. Take up more space as you inhale. Squeeze in, narrow, harden as you exhale. Softer and wider as you inhale. More narrow, more coarse as you exhale. Dualism, one more, big inhale. Narrow in, exhale. Inhale, lift back up to a neutral spine. And then slowly lower your butt towards your heels. Set your hips over to the left. Take a hand down. Send your legs forward. And then scoot your butt forward so your feet are at the top of the mat. Reach your arms up high and bend your knees, flexing your feet. And then you're going to fold over your legs as best as you can. Maybe you grab the outside edges of your feet. Try and plug your kneecaps into your armpits. And then release your head in between your arms. And then little by little, think about straightening your legs so that the back of the legs touch the mat and that the armpits stay plugged into the knees. Now from here, you're going to take your left hand onto the outside of your right foot or ankle or shin, and then try and squeeze your butt together so it doesn't move at all, and sweep your right arm towards the back of your mat. Now think about your right butt going forward, your left butt moving back, but then your heart spinning up and to the right. Return to deep breaths. And then spiral yourself up into the right. Close your eyes. Imagine your spine again. It's still that wave, but now it's twisting. And what is a wave twisted? It's a spiral. So embody the spiral through your spine. Breathe into becoming that shape or embodying that shape. One more big breath. You'll exhale your right hand to the outside of your left foot, ankle, or shin, and then you'll do the same thing. You'll sweep your left arm backwards, but you move your left butt forward. And then think about your belly button spiraling up and to the left without changing your hips much. And then breathe into the spiral of the spine for 3 more. Keep giving breath to your low belly, to your pubic muscles, to the space in between your legs, the glutes, everything gets some attention. Last big breath. Shoulders away from the ears, long neck. Yeah, and then you'll sweep your left arm forward again to your right foot, and then maybe just bend your elbows and let your head fall in between your arms. Maybe you just release your hands. Hang out here for 3 more breaths, diving into yourself and diving into mindfulness. Like I was saying before, it's just time spent with yourself. So say you were your own best friend. Whew, imagine, that would be so great, right? And then see if you can have a heart-to-heart with you, and then ask what you need the most in this moment, and answer truthfully. And ask yourself how you can give that to yourself. Start to pull your belly in. Round your low back backwards. Round your mid back upwards. Start to roll up through the spine, vertebra by vertebra. Your head will stack last. And then slowly you'll tuck your tail. You'll find that same kind of rounding as you roll back onto your back for your final meditation or rest or egoic death. Shavasana. We'll be here for a minute or two. I'll tell you when it's time. So see if you can just really enjoy this quiet time in your own mind space, and see if you can find the space between your thoughts and cultivate staying there, or a power to stay there. Because that space will give you the freedom to take a step back and see your life and your decisions clearly. So cultivate making space. Be easy on yourself if it's really hard and you can't do it. Just keep trying. Find yourself some peace. Shavasana. Keeping your eyes closed. And take a really slow drink of breath in through the nose. And then a really soft sigh out of the mouth. And then stay on the ground just for a moment more. And then we'll use a really effective, really simple practice to bring you into a good state of being. It's gratitude. I want you to just simply list 3 things that you feel a profound sense of gratitude for, not just your run-of-the-mill gratitude. Take both of your hands, rest them on your chest. Take a deep breath in as if it were a thank you to the universe or the God that you understand. And then let that energy live. Stretch out through the rest of your precious temporary body, arms overhead, legs long. You'll sit up any way you see fit. You can roll over to one side. You could come forward. Your legs. And take your hands in prayer. Bring them to your heart. Sit up tall, close your eyes. And then key into that sensation, that physical sensation that you may or may not have felt when you did the gratitude practice. That kind of warm, tingly, mushy sensation. Just feel that for 1 second more. And then imagine you could bring that sensation from your hands, or from your heart, into your hands. And then take your prayer hands up to your third eye. Press your thumb knuckle there. And then imagine just imbuing that soft, gushy, loving energy into your perception or the way that you see the world. Remembering that there's a lot of love to be had if you keep an eye out for it. And one more big breath in, drawing up that loving gratitude feeling. And then bow to each other, bow to this earth, because we're not separate. Namaste, friends on the internet. Namaste, friends that live in this house with me. Thank you for being here, both you and you guys. And yeah, enjoy being alive in these crazy, crazy times.
Namaste.
I don't know how to end it. Oh, end.